hand touched, and we're going to show you how to turn your old junk into real treasures. Hi, welcome to the lovely Senior Center again. This is where we're having all of our shows now until I can get the Looney bin redone. And places to put stuff. Anyway, today is our Leprechaun Day, and we're going to be making things for St. Patty's Day. And we all wore our green, our festive
all
green.
All wore different shades of green.
Yeah.
Yep. But it's all green, so nobody can pinch us.
That's right. And we got some leprechaun type things and St. Patty type things, and I'm at the end. I'm going to be at the end of it, and I'm going to have a St. Patty's Day drink. So,
Not an adult drink, just a drink.
Yeah, no alcohol.
We don't want her falling out.
So, I guess we'll get around to it.
See you in a minute.
Okay, today I'm going to repurpose part of a palette. These boards I've pre-painted for St. Patrick's Day in the green, the hunter green color, and these are all from the palette. The boards that I'm going to connect them with is also from the palette. Now you want to protect your table if you're going to do any hammering or anything inside like I'm going to do here today. So I took an old beach towel that's just a junk towel that I keep in my car, and I had two 4x4s that I put underneath to kind of cushion it so that I'm not hammering directly onto the table. I'm going to lay my boards, my connecting boards, on the 4x4s, and I'm going to line up my pieces of pallet. I took two. You can make this as wide as you want, but I'm just going to make it 2 pieces of wood. Make sure that your connecting wood is in the right place. And so that you don't have to hammer quite so hard, I'm going to take my little tiny drill. Whatever size nail that you're using to connect them with, you want the drill just a tiny bit smaller than what the nail is. And that way the nail will hold. So I'm going to take and put 2, whoop, came out. That's what happens when you pull it instead of reversing it. There we go. 1, 2, it's coming apart here. We're going to make these holes for the nails. I held it that time so it didn't come out. Okay. There we go. I'm going to do all on both of these before we get started hammering. Oops, it would help if I have it in the right direction. There we go. 2 more to go. And this, by doing the drilling also, it doesn't let your wood split as much. Now this wood, a little added patina, was already split, so I just painted right over the area that was split, and that just gives it more character when you're making something. Okay, here we go. And the last one is bias split, so I'm going to move in just a little bit. There we go. I'm done with that. I'm going to take now, and I like old tools, and my grandfather was a master carpenter, and this was his hammer. So if I hit my finger when I'm hammering, I always hear my grandpa say, "You're still learning." So that's one thing. There's one. And the tiny head nails, you don't even hardly see them at all. So that's what I try to use when I'm making a project here. Oh, I remember Kathy doing that at Christmas time too. Bend it over. See, I'm still learning. Straighten it out. There we go. Let me get a couple in down here so that I don't move this thing, if I haven't already. Nope. I don't think I should be doing these nails here today. You can also use screws. I like using nails in this because you don't see the heads of the nail like you do the heads of the screw. If you use the screws, you can always go in further so that you can take wood putty and fill in the hole over top of it, but that's just added work. We're just trying to make things easy and still look terrific. So let's see here. But it is important to drill because that's what keeps the wood from splitting when you're making something. I think I only have one more to go. And then we got it connected together. Okay, and the blocks of wood that I use to connect it on the back with are just pieces of pallet that I cut with my saw. I pre-cut everything so that we would have it all pre-cut. Now this is the stand. You want to pre-cut that piece of wood at an angle so that it tips back just a little bit. And then you're going to, I'm going to bring that chair in so I can use it as leverage. So you can take and put this here, get it nice and flat. And this I'm not going to pre-drill. Yeah, I'm going to start it with a pre-drill. Let's make sure this is heading the right direction. So working close to the edge, it's important so that you don't split that wood right there at the edge, because then your nail won't hold if you do split it. Let me get these holes in there. Two more. And one more. And this is where the split is, so you want to kind of hold that split in so it brings it together. And I'm going to hold that so that I can get that first nail in there. And I'm using longer nails here because you need to make sure that this is not going to let loose, because this is holding the full weight of this project. So we're going to tap the nails just a little bit at a time like that. It doesn't split your wood and it doesn't bend the nail over. Sometimes I get a little anxious and I tap it fast and hard, and that's when they bend over. So you want to squeeze this together so that your bottom is together. Get those two outside ones, and then you can get the two inside ones a lot easier once they're tapped in. So here's, and one more. There we go. This is a porch decoration that I'm making, and like I said, you can make it and it leans up against the house, and that's why you have the base so that it stands next to your house and it has a little bit of a base to stand on. Now what I'm going to do is take this burlap ribbon, or whatever, I guess it's a ribbon, and I'm going to put it across the top just to add a little bit to it. You can use any kind of ribbon that you want. This has wire in it, so it makes it nice and stiff there at the edges, and you can bend it and twist it and whatever you want. But I'm just going to make a little tie there, and I forgot my scissors. So one of the girls is going to let me use their scissors, and I thank you. And I'm going to take and cut that at a little bit of an angle just to give it some character, and the other one the other direction just for a little more character. And seeing this is St. Patty's Day, I'm going to use a green and white polka dotted ribbon that I found. So I'm going to put it on the outside of that burlap. And the reason I use the burlap is you can exchange this outside ribbon and you can use it for other holidays besides St. Patrick's Day. This is going to be my St. Patty's Day ribbon right here. And that's why it's the green and white, and I'm gonna leave that, but then the next holiday is spring, and I can do something else. Now, on Pinterest, they had this idea, and they had lucky written down it, but I don't like the word lucky, so I'm gonna use the word blessing, and that's what I'm gonna put on it. You can use stencils, which I brought with me, but I think I'm going to freehand paint it. And I'm just going to paint the word blessing down the edge. Let me use my hammer to get that lid off. I keep my extra paint in mason jars because the glass doesn't let the paint dry out at all. And it's just like it came from the store, and I've had this for over 2 years now. So I am going to take, and another reuse, when you're in the hospital, my husband was in the hospital this past year, you get these little foamy things to wet your mouth with. Well, they break open this whole bag and they might use 1 or 2, and the rest of them they throw out. Well, I took it home, so that's what I use for my paintbrushes. They're really nice size for doing things. And I'm gonna make a bee. I pre-painted the board so that we would have it dry before I did this. You can paint the board white and put green letters on it, but I kind of like the board, the green color with the white letters, so that's what I'm doing here today. There's the B. There's the L. That'd be pretty bad if I misspelled it. L, fancy L. And then an E. Am I going to have enough room? I think so. And an S. See, these things just twirl right around and it paints really nice. Okay. And there's, oops, I twirled it and it spilled on the side, but that's okay. That just adds character to it. So that'll work. Bless. An I and an N. And a G, just enough room I left. That's pretty good. So, and you have blessings at every holiday. So just St. Patty's Day, there's an Irish blessing. So that's why I put the word blessing instead of the word lucky, because I feel more like it's blessings than luck. So, and here we have the little dribble. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make a little, try to make what looks like a little shamrock. I don't know if it will. And it's going to have the little stem coming over there. See how I covered that up? I don't know if that looks, girls, does that look like a shamrock? Kind of, sort of?
Yeah.
There we go. There's one shamrock. Let's put one up top here. And then I'm done. And that was reusing wood from a pallet. And the nails, sometimes you can use the nails, but when I pulled this one apart, the nails were pretty rough looking, and I decided that I wasn't going to fuss with them. So I brought some of my new nails. There we go. There's another little shamrock. And that's my St. Patty's Day craft. It's a lot of fun. We're just going to take and set it here, and it can lean up against your door. And like I said, different holidays, put different colored ribbon on it. And there you go. And that's it. Have a great day.
Today my project is going to be a leprechaun hat. What I did is I went in the yard yesterday and I had some plastic old flower pots that I just dumped the dirt out, cleaned them out. Well, not so good maybe. This is a terracotta pot, and I painted them with the acrylic hunter green. I did 2 coats of that, let it dry last night. Again, we had talked about using the little bowls that we feed our, the dog food comes in. We saved those and put some little sponges in there. So I had put my paint in there in this, had cleaned them off with that with a little bit of water, just a regular paintbrush. and they're dry now. So what I'm going to do is I went and was looking through what I had in the closet because they had some cute little things on Pinterest, and it had a belt buckle. And I said, you know, instead of using felt, I've got this, I outgrew this belt, so I used that, cut it off, and you just put that over there. And now I've got a leprechaun hat. And this one, if you don't want to use the black, you can use part of the burlap, change it up a little bit, and use felt across there. But that is just a real short little project that you can do with your children. And now we'll go to Kathy. Thank you.
Doing a welcome sign that you can put between your front door and a screen door or a storm door. And sometimes there's not very much room, so you need something really thin. And I had a friend yesterday that was saying, I'd like to put a wreath on my front door, but I don't have any room. It's only 2 inches thick. So I pre-painted a board, and I repurposed the end of the belt that Shirley cut off and made a band across the front. And I've pre-painted 2 little, not 4-leaf clovers. They're, come on ladies, what are they? They're shamrocks. My brain's not working real good today. And on this board, I glued it with some super glue. And I need a way to hang it up. And so I've got a Dremel today with a drill on it. And all I'm going to do is, this is going to be loud. And that's it. I drilled 2 tiny holes. And you have my wire. No, the roll of it. Here's another recycle tip. Canning jar boxes. You can put all your craft stuff in it. Drill down into it. This is a takeout box from a Chinese restaurant. And in that takeout box, I carry things like scissors, a knife, magic markers, wire cutters. And I'm going to make this to where you can hang it by it. And I think I'm going to need about as long as the board is. I went in 2 inches on either side of the board to put the holes, so I'll have a little extra room. And the cutters go clip, and you can put the wire in it. I'm going to put it in from the back side so it'll hold nicely and hold it flat against a door. And necessity is the mother of invention. So I'm going to take this pair of this magic marker and make a ring around it. And this will keep the wire from pulling back through. And pull it down, bend it over. There's one side. Now I'm going to do the second side. And just wrap it around about 1.5 times. You can use a pencil or a Phillips screwdriver. or a pair of round-nosed pliers. And there's how it'll hang. And you can paint your words on with paints, or you can use a magic marker. And a magic marker is dry right then. And I've got all this sawdust on here that I don't want the letters to be messed up by the sawdust. But I'm going to just use a magic marker today to write on here. And this is the lettering kids can do too. You might have to do like I did and write it out in pencil, and then they can trace over top of it. And for this, I want to put some circles on the letters. This makes it just a little
What do you write on,
fancier.
Kathy?
I'll tell you in just a minute. It's a welcome sign to go on your door. It's for St. Patrick's Day. So who do you think is welcome? Leprechauns. And here's one word. I like to do my dots at the end after I write my letters out, because they don't always come out even. And I can use the dots to help even out my letters. And a few more letters here. Now my dots. I have an 8-year-old granddaughter that loves the dots on letters. She dots, even if she makes an O, she dots where she started. Anne has something for me, and she's trying to sneak, but the color she's wearing, she is not sneaking. So my sign says, Leprechauns welcome. I have just a few little finishing touches here. I'm just going to use a little piece of twine or sassel to make a bow. I'm going to do a double bow. Take one piece of string and cut it in half. And just attach it here on the hanger. Do you have my belt buckle done?
Just about.
There's just a belt buckle left to go.
Let's see that sign one more time.
Let me get my bow even. Leprechauns welcome. And my belt buckle. I like to buy the super glue that's in a little tube, and they're single use, and you put the cap on it and then it's open, and it's not got a whole lot in it, but it doesn't dry up and you don't have to throw a lot away. And you can find them at stores that don't charge a whole lot. Oh, come on!
That's our local DG
Our
store.
local, yes.
Can't say the name, but
Enough,
Did you?
enough. I just need a square.
I
I don't need a tongue.
I'm sorry, I had
Some ladies are so anal.
I had to put it together.
OCD. Yes, I said anal on TV. It's supposed to be a little square because it's not supposed to be so fancy. I will just put a little glue. This is the kind that it doesn't drip. It's a gel. And I'm going to hope this holds it. And close it up because there is enough to use one more time. And I'll push it down in here and hold and wish. And it's going to have to dry. But it says, leprechauns welcome. It's skinny. It'll go between her door. And Anne has a super special surprise for us. She's actually cooking. Okay.
I'm doing a leprechaun float. And we need a lemon lime soda, some big mouth quart pint jars. This is our cameraman's. And first you do, what do you do first again?
Ice cream.
Ice cream
Or
first.
lime sherbet.
Yep.
Lime sherbet.
Lime sherbet, that's what it is.
Depending on what holiday it is, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
It is
Change the color of the sherbet.
Yeah, that's nice.
Easter we can have a pink one. You're not at home, Anne.
I know. So I'm going to take this lime sherbet and ugh.
Yep. Listen to her. And she wants us to drink this?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to stand
You
up.
know she really doesn't cook.
That's why we all started laughing when she said she was going to cook.
This is as close to cooking as you're going to get me. In fact, I know I like restaurants. They make stuff for you.
She went to get some napkins.
I know.
Down the side, across the tabletop.
I'll leave that off later.
Here, I got some napkins.
Well, you better start wiping because that went down on the
Oh, it's really
If you have a smaller scoop like you use for cookies,
That
cookie dough,
Yeah, a lot better. Put 2 or 3 in there.
and you notice these are wide mouth jars,
But they're still not big enough.
not big enough.
Think about getting them into a regular mouth jar.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
even try. That's going to be a little bit more than I want in that one.
Hand me that one. when you're done.
Okay. Don't forget about this one too.
She locked it
I
up.
wiped that one off. That's
That's inside.
That's
Oh,
inside.
that's inside, okay. I'm going blind in my old age. Those sounds has to go with it too.
Come on, shake it. There you go.
Hey, it went in.
She's licking her hands. Real sanitary.
My hand is
something
sanitary.
that the children can help you do.
Unless you want a mess. Don't let them do it unless you want a mess.
If you
The
have,
kids will do it to where there is no mess.
That's true. They'll lick it right on. They won't let me do that. Since he's got the biggest, I'm going to give him the most.
That's good.
That's
This
good
one-
enough?
This one needs a little more.
Okay.
Or this one.
That one?
Yeah.
That one's yours, huh?
No. Needed some more.
There we
Just
go.
divide it up.
All righty, that's what it'll do.
And now the fun part.
Yeah, wait a minute.
If you thought this was fun, just wait.
Okay,
all right.
clean it up. Wipe my hand off. Okay, now we're really going to have some fun because this is hot. I'm going to do it in the small one, the large one first, see how fast it comes out.
You do it slowly.
Yes.
Very slow.
And, oh, here's a little tip. If you when you start opening the bottle, a soda bottle, if it starts looking like it's going to foam up, shut it back.
Oh, no, you pointed at your brother or
Well, if you're by yourself and it starts to come up, just shut it back and it'll stop fizzing.
My son thinks you should put your mouth over the top of it.
Now,
Just let it go.
And then your cheeks are out of here.
what are you doing?
You smack your cheeks and it goes everywhere.
All right, we're fixing to see what this is going to do.
It's gonna foam.
It's going to foam up.
We're making it,
That's
which is
enough,
what-
that's enough.
All right. Whoa.
Whoa, that did fast.
All right, I'll just keep adding a little bit in each glass. Bring that back. I ain't finished with that one.
Ain't a word.
It's true, and it's in the dictionary. It's in the dictionary.
The dictionary's in the library. Oh, we're just kind of fool today, aren't we?
Well, that's what we're supposed to do
That's
on
right.
Leprechaun Day.
Ooh, this looks good.
Woo-hoo, and I promise you, there's no
Hopefully-
alcohol.
Hopefully you like lemon lime soda and lime sherbet. That's good. That's good. Whoa, 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 whoa. Look at that rise. Woo!
It's got a good head on it.
We're gonna give this one a go over here. Let them try it out.
They don't want no
You
more.
can drink it on this side.
Yeah, you can bring
You
it
got to come
over
over here and drink it.
Come on over.
We're going to let you test
Those
it.
crazy ladies. Here we
Now,
go.
we're going to let you try it out first.
Yes, good.
Huh?
It's really good.
What was that face?
Sprite. I mean,
It didn't even, the lemon lime soda didn't even have to be cold.
And the glass is chilled.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's chilled and the
And you know what? You
This
could
is
add a
good.
cherry in there too. It'd be real cute.
Well, for Easter.
The
No.
green color is for St. Patty's Day. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty good.
This one.
Yeah.
Orange if you're doing
Peach.
peach out.
Yeah, you can get peach soda too.
I don't think it tastes good with chocolate in it though. I like
I don't
chocolate.
know. I'm a chocolate freak too.
Beer float for
Yeah.
Halloween.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. And good old fruit jars,
Yep.
canning jars.
Canning jars are good for more than just candy.
Yeah.
It's fruit jars.
Anyway,
What do you got here with the little pedestals, Ann?
well, I thought we were going to do that when we start. I guess we can go ahead and talk about it. I want to drink some.
Drink some first.
Mine is almost gone.
Okay, I took an idea from a redneck store. I ain't gonna tell you which one. It starts with an W and M. Anyway, I took some candle holders that we talked about it before at
The kind for taper.
yeah, candles right here. There's a candle holder. And you take super glue and you put it on the bottom of the candle holder. This is the top of it, the candle goes in. Stick it on your jar, set your jar down on it, and you've got a redneck champagne glass. Ain't that cute?
Or a beer glass.
Yeah, true.
Or Kool-Aid
And
or
what
sweet
have-
tea.
What have you done?
I'm enjoying this ice cream. I was back in the woods behind my house the other day, and I found this muscadine vine, and I just stood there and started winding it around, and I made this little wreath out of the muscadine vine. I spray painted it with the hunter green and a little bit of 18 karat gold spray paint that Ann had. And I took the sweet gum tree burrs and I hot glued them on. And I just took and cut 3 little hearts out of material and slip stitched it and drew it together to make it look like a shamrock and put on there. And it's just a simple little wreath for a centerpiece, or you can hang it on your door for any holiday. That's
And
what I
Kathy, what'd you do?
I did a pot of gold. This was several years ago. I want to say 24, 25 years ago. I bought this pot to make muffins in. And you'd make a giant muffin by putting your dough or your batter down inside this pot, stick it in the oven. You can even stick it in the microwave. there's no hole in the bottom of it, so it wouldn't come out. That made it the
And it is made out of,
It is terracotta.
yep, instead of plastic.
And the inside of the pot is glazed, it's not glazed. You do it kind of like cast iron when you season it and you let it heat in the oven, so it's non-stick. But I put gold candy in it, and it's a pot of gold.
Nice little centerpiece.
Nice little centerpiece,
And-
put it on your desk at work.
This is something that we did here, when we first started, wasn't it? I think.
About.
And this is a air freshener. See?
And it's still got the air
I
freshener.
know.
They used to seal up a whole lot better than they do
Your little
now.
air freshener
Leprechaun.
leprechaun.
And I did this, like
This
this
is
is
so
turned
cool.
out.
The hat is a yogurt container.
The pink, foam, styrofoam
Styrofoam
ball.
ball.
Face is made out of wood putty. The hair is just some of that curly stuff that you get, fake hair.
Dolls.
For
You could
dogs.
use that deer fern that grows alongside of it, or the deer
The reindeer moss.
moss that grows alongside for the hair too.
I'm trying to get back in.
He
There
used
we
to be
go.
redheaded, almost redheaded.
Yeah, but he aged. He's turned gray.
Turning gray.
That's from
And he's losing his hair.
He's been in the sun too long.
He's been in my sunroom. But his head keeps turning around, so we got to keep turning him towards his face. But we did that a while
He's like
back.
an owl.
It's amazing what you can use different things for.
Yeah.
That you save. My husband even is now, do you need me to save this?
Yes.
I go, of course, we can find some use for it.
Even the ice cream tub here.
We'll be making
Keeping
some.
that, cleaning it up, keeping it.
And we'll let you know when we use it.
Yeah, we'll show it to you.
Oh, it would make a great Easter basket.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and
Or a centerpiece.
I was thinking about your blessing sign. You can put your red ribbon on it and some little felt or foam balls, like Christmas balls.
Yeah. Right over top of those shamrocks, and then you wouldn't know that it was for St. Patrick's Day.
It'd be Christmas
So you can
presents.
use that at different times, yep, just
Big
change
old
the
ribbon.
ribbon.
Yep. And
That's great.
the flower pot, you can get those plastic flower pots already green.
Okay.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have to paint them.
Yeah.
That's
And if you
great.
want to, on that belt, if you want to keep it on there, you can glue it, which I did not today. But
Well, there ain't
What
no
a great
sense.
idea.
You don't have to glue it, you can just use, then you can use it, what is it, the fake fur, white fur, and make it into a,
That would look neat, even sitting at the bottom of the sign on a
Yeah.
porch
Yeah.
or something, you
Yeah.
know, have some,
a lot of different
couple of,
things.
Yeah, left
Yep.
my hat.
yeah.
well, are we finished
The
now?
belt you can use at
Oh.
Christmas time
Yeah.
Yeah.
or at Thanksgiving for
Yeah.
children's hat.
You could re-spray paint that red for Christmas and that'd be your Santa.
Yeah, Santa hat.
Or you can just paint
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah, or you can paint another one. So you
And just
can
stack
change
them up on
boxes.
top.
We can go on and on and on.
Because we do like to do crafts.
Yes, definitely.
And I guess this is it. We've got to say goodbye
Till next time,
till next time.
remember, reduce.
Reuse.
Reinvent.
Recycle. Please. Keep it out of the landfills. Because
Did you go to the landfill?
yes, I did.
Did you get a box of stuff?
No. We passed 6 cars on the way in. So we didn't get what we were going after. There was a couple things
We
I
put a row of spices, and I've got different sizes in here. And you can put this in and slip it right inside that shelf. And if you do it alphabetically, you can think, you know, this is A through C, and oh, celery seed. I can get my celery seed out of the C box. But you can also do it in what kind of spices or herbs are in here. You can have Italian out here on the outside and have your marjoram and your thyme and your oregano, or you can have Asian spices and have your ginger and your come on ladies, give me some. I can't think of any more than ginger. Garlic. Garlic goes with everything, so you might have one just general spices and have your garlic and your onion powder and that type of stuff in there. And that is a recycle tip.
And
Hope you enjoyed it.
I had the recycling of the project that I did because I took an old pallet and tore
Yep.
it apart. And you just don't know what you can use different things
Yeah.
for, you know, but using an old pallet, you can make all kinds of things out of.
Yes.
So that's another use.
And recycle your canning jars. If you don't have canning jars, you can use spaghetti jars,
That's right.
spaghetti sauce jars.
That's for sure. Okay.